Hello and welcome to the Let That Shift Go podcast. I'm Noel.
And I'm Lena.
And this is where we talk about the good, the bad, and all the shift in between.
We'll just talk mad shift.
Let's get into it.
And today I have a very special guest, a dear friend, Katie.estberg. She's coming on the podcast today because we want to talk about something really exciting. We've decided to create a series of workshops together to offer. And I want to tell you a little bit about my friend Katie here. She is an EMDR trained therapist and behavioral scientist. And Katie really bridges evidence-based psychology with embodiment and energy work and guiding clients from coping to conscious living. I met Katie not too long ago and realized we have a lot of alignment on the way we think, and especially, psychologically, therapeutically, the nervous system, all of those things. And I'm so happy that we've decided to kind of birth this whole thing together. And we're going to be calling it the Something Else series. And I want to tell you a little bit about why it's called the Something Else series. But first, welcome, Katie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Yes. Let's talk about, I remember one of the first conversations we had about the Something Else series was you were talking about clients saying, I love this, I love therapy, but I need something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I hear the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't just need another workshop or,
Right.
Breathwork is amazing, but there's just more.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think this came born out of that of like, literally, why don't we just create the something else? Like, what is the something else?
Right. And I think it was after we did that information session here, then we heard a lot of it again. And so we were talking about it, and people are all on their journey and, trying to find their path and moving forward. And they're trying multiple different things. But like you said, there's something that's missing. They're seeking something else.
Yeah. Something that bridges both spirituality with psychology. I think there's just such a perfect marriage there. And oftentimes it's a lack of one or the other that is really missing. So when we can bring them together, therapeutically based, but also spiritually based, nervous system reset based, there's something really magical that can happen, especially when you're in community.
Yes. No, because I think that's how the conversation actually started, because I have so many clients where, I have to maintain confidentiality and everything. And they're saying the same things to me. They're asking me, am I crazy? Am I alone? Am I the only one? Or that's how they feel. And I was like, man, if I could just get you guys all in a room, like you would know you're not alone. You're not crazy. And I say that to them, but there's nothing else I can do. Yeah. And so I think that's where the conversation started, for me. And then here we are.
Yeah. I think that's often overlooked, like how important it is to like see yourself in someone else and be able to say, I am that too. Oh my gosh. What did you do? What did you find helpful? And you're right. I'm not alone. And how do we grow together?
Yeah. Even the event we did last night, it was the same thing. We all came together and, there's trepidation of, oh my gosh, am I going to be judged? Is, this someone new? And, all of these things. But then they keep coming, because they've found this connection and, it's hard. So for me, like I deal with a lot of complex trauma and church hurt and, different things. And so people have different narratives and beliefs, playing in their head, and a lot of them aren't theirs.
Yeah.
And so for me, I just want to have the modality to be able to help them, whether it's a past life regression or whatever it is.
EMDR.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what is the barrier? What is keeping you from this place? And, I find a lot through doing EMDR or through meditation, finding their wiser self, whatever. We have all this knowledge, in ourselves, but we don't trust it. And so, like you said, being able to, I see you, I hear you, you're not alone, I feel the same way. And then it's like, oh my gosh, because no one else in their life is able to validate that for them.
Yeah. And to be in the company of you, a professional therapist, and being able to be on the land, be able to have exercises that are spiritually based, physically based, psychologically based and have them sort of just this mesh of healing.
Mhm.
And because it's not one size fits all,
Mhm.
like something might work for someone, but it doesn't work for someone else.
Mhm.
Where's the sort of Goldilocks, this is just right.
Right.
Being able to find that sweet spot and being able to do it together, I think is really powerful. So I love that we call it the Something Else series, because it is kind of like, it is something else. I need
Mhm.
something else.
Mhm.
Let's talk about like, what is that going to look like for these? Right now, what we have is monthly
Mhm.
workshops. And how do you envision those workshops going? I love how you describe like, your ideas for them.
As far as the structure of
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
So I like people to be able to walk away. Like we have an intention, I think,
Mhm.
with everything, whether it's been clinical or spiritual, whatever, there's an intention. We go and do something for a reason, whether
Mhm.
it's for a paycheck or
Yeah.
to feel better, to
Why am I
gain
here?
muscle. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and then that's another thing, is that a lot of people don't question that. They don't
Mhm.
question their why. They're just on the hamster wheel and keep going. And so I see this series as the space, to recalibrate, to question those things, like, is this me? Is this something else? Or,
Mhm.
and so like our first one in January is about rebirth and alignment. And, like my soul mission is for everybody to be able to remember what alignment is.
Mhm.
And that's why I've gone the different routes that I've gone, whether it's EMDR or hypnosis, or because some of my clients, in order to do EMDR, you have to have a safe place or have a feeling of love, like a safe person. And so I had a client where they didn't have that in this lifetime, and they had experienced a past life regression. I was like, oh, I need that tool,
Oh, yeah.
So, but anyways, it's being able to come to a place with like-minded people and remember that you're not alone, and be able to talk about, the spiritual stuff. Let's talk about aliens. Let's talk about death. Let's talk about the things that other people look at you and be like, oh my gosh, you just said that?
Weirdos unite.
Yes, we're going to reclaim weird. That's what we're going to do.
I've been reclaiming weird over here for a while. It just gets weirder and weirder.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. I think that, what was really interesting to me when we were talking about doing this was, I love how you were describing, you're very tactile. Like you love to do like workshop type of things, like where we're creating something,
Mhm.
we're doing something physically,
Mhm.
where there is both meaning and ritual.
Mhm.
So there is like this element of ritual, but it's also psychologically based.
Right.
So
and it's a reminder you can walk away with.
yes, I love that. So I know when we talk about, for example, January, what we were envisioning for that workshop could be like vision boarding, or it could be, and when we're doing like a really cool workshop for vision boarding, yeah, great. But there's also like what's in the way.
Mhm.
So, and I think that's what a lot of, other workshops maybe don't address, is like,
Right.
it's one thing to just put this out there, but it's also another thing to be like, hey, what are the possible roadblocks?
Right.
Why don't we talk about what that is?
Mhm.
How do we clear that out? And that's where I would imagine, using something like a breathwork session to be like, let's move that energy.
Mhm.
Let's identify it. Let's feel it, so that we can actually manifest these things that we're putting out in the world, right? So it's not just the workshop
Mhm.
of this is what we want to manifest, or we want
Right.
whatever. It's, let's talk about psychologically, therapeutically, what could be in the way.
Mhm.
And then let's use some tools to be able to move that
Mhm.
and to do so together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. We're healers, right?
Mhm.
But I think everybody is their own healer. So
Yes.
like our job is to hold space for them to heal themselves in that space.
To awaken that healer within them.
Right.
Mhm.
And so like that's what, like, specifically January is rebirth and alignment, and we don't know what that is for them, but they do.
Yeah.
So like you said, going through, I think that release is going to be part of all of these workshops,
Yeah.
because we always need to release something.
Yeah.
We're holding on too tightly to something, and it's going to shift and it's going to change. And so I like doing the tactile part of that, whether it's, writing it down and burning it, or, crumpling up, yelling it into the earth, putting it in water, whatever needs to be released, because we need to make space, and for that growth and development. So I envision, us having this intention, having the release, with the breath work, and then having some kind of activity. What do we want to take with us? And it's a great reminder. I've done rocks or signs or whatever. And so it's fun to we need to play and create and then to have that to refer back to remind us when we get back on that hamster wheel, because the work doesn't happen here. The work happens applying this outside of this safe space, of this beautiful experience, and coming back to the memory of that. And then remembering oh, I need to drink water. I need to stop and make myself a sandwich, and I just know so many people are not taking care of themselves in that way as they should. And if we can create a space where they can go and remember that they're important too, then I think we've accomplished it.
Yeah, I love that. And I like the aspect of play. I think as adults, we don't really get that opportunity to feel like we have play. We used to go to school and we would create art, or we would hang out with our friends or whatever. And so I don't know, maybe in some ways the Something Else series is sort of revisiting that part of ourselves of being able to play, to create something, to be in ritual, and also be able to plan, and be able to desire something, and then be able to say, okay, I want that, or I want this change. I want stronger relationships, whatever it is. How do I get there? And I'm not alone.
Right.
So I don't know. Something about this series just really excites me. I've told, many of the clients that have come in, and I'm sure you have too, and they're like, yes, I need that. I want that. So I know doing this podcast was a big part of just, we have to officially put the word out. People, this is offered. It's going to be offered. It's already on the website. You can sign up now. You can bring your friends. It's very reasonable. And you're literally on sacred land working with a professional therapist and a breathwork facilitator, a nurse, both healers, Reiki master, all the things. Come do it, because I don't know where something like this exists,
right.
And the plan is to, at some point, midpoint, is to create something even bigger in group community.
Yes.
But for now, you can join all of them. You can join one of them. There's no commitment of anything. It's just come hang out and work on yourself.
Yes.
In a way that feels like play, but is psychologically and spiritually based.
Yes.
You don't feel alone. What else? What do you think? Anything else you want to tell them?
I don't know. Ever since you said play, I've been like, man, this would be a great place to play hide and seek. So
it really would be. We can work that into some therapeutic workshop. Right? What are you hiding from? What is seeking you?
It's me. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the things that you're talking about is shifting reinforcement histories, creating capacity and safety, and remembering the version of you beneath survival strategies, which is what basically most of us are in right now. I would love to see people to get out of survival and into thriving, right?
Yes.
Not surviving, but thriving and
living,
enjoying.
Yes.
But we have to make space for that.
You have to pause. You have to find the stillness, and so for me, before I started on the mental health path, I was in the behavioral health. And so that I think helps me because I can identify patterns and I can help clients see that. Okay, but you're continuing to do this, or I see your head nod, but that doesn't mean that you're going to do anything, you know? And so it's even I work with a lot of kids. I work with a lot of parents that have kids, and I take a lot of my examples back down to our kid level, because even with EMDR, you're going back into things that you brought in as a belief and you've carried that. And I do a lot of IFS and everything too, internal family systems.
I love IFS.
Yes, I know. Your breath work that I did here, you brought that in. Oh my gosh, I was bawling. It was so great.
Ooh, we could do some IFS workshop stuff where we sit and put the chairs. Yeah, okay, anyway. It's going to be fun.
Oh, no. I do that in therapy sessions. I like to do that with EMDR, and then the cards that we made, they have our IFS and everything too. But
she has a beautiful tarot deck that is IFS based, therapeutically based, just artistically incredible. So it's a perfect blend of spirituality and psychology and all of the things. And it's very magical. So those will be part of the series as well.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. It's helpful. And I like the deck because it's not me telling you the meaning. It's you pulling the cards and us creating the meaning together, or, whatever it is. Like, I want everybody to take back their power. I want them to take back their knowing. I want them to stop, outsourcing their knowing to other people. And so that's why I love working with you, because you are able to hold that space too, and, be curious and playful and everything. And that's what is missing, I think, in all of life, in community, in our regular everyday life. And so being able to come here and experience, joy and peace and relaxing and calming our nervous system, and then, identifying maybe the behavioral patterns or loops that we're stuck in.
Yeah.
And then, being able to make that change. But then you also have this group that can help you, because it's hard. Like, let's go to the gym. Like, okay, I don't wanna, and so like that can be difficult. Any change is hard. Like, our brains go into default mode, and that's so much easier. Like, when you're driving and then you start driving home and you're like, oh, I gotta go to work. Like, our brains don't want to work. They want to just do what's easiest. And so it is hard to change those patterns.
Yeah. And sometimes what's easiest is the most painful.
Yes.
But we keep doing it because it's easiest.
Or
we're comfortable.
That's where we're in this, like, this has become our window of tolerance. Like, I don't know what's after that. And so I'm going to stay here, even though I'm miserable, I don't know. Or I'm afraid that if I feel this peace and I feel this joy, like, it can be taken away from me, because it has at other times.
Yeah.
I see that a lot too.
Who would you say this workshop is designed for?
I think it's designed for everyone. But, I think anybody that is seeking community, like anybody that is, trying to find their way forward, anybody that is struggling, like feeling alone, or, whatever. But I think anybody could benefit from the things that we're going to be talking about and experiencing and everything. And so I think that could reach a multitude of, people's wants and desires. Because like I said, I see people, for an hour on a couch in a room, and that sounds really depressing. So to be able to come here and be amongst like-minded people, know you're not alone, and, feel safe to try something that you don't feel safe, doing amongst maybe family, or feeling like you're going to be judged by friends, or, whatever. Like, just being able to come here and figure out who you are and what you
remember
want.
who you are. Yeah. I think, if I think about who are the people that I can imagine being here, those people they're seeking growth in some way, community, like you said, but they're wanting to, I loved using the term, the path to self-discovery. Like, they're on that path of like discovering who they are, remembering who they are. And oftentimes it's because they've been put into a box and been trying to, complete somebody else's to-do list. And it's like, this is not who I am. I am not, this didn't make me happy to accomplish ABC. Why? There's got to be more. And sometimes going on that path is scary and painful, and we have to look at ourselves, and maybe the series can provide a space where you can do that, and you can gently, begin on that path, or be in the middle of it and join other people, in order to discover more about yourself in a way that's healthy, that's therapeutic, but also feels like play and community. So
anyone who's wanting a shift, they want something different. They want
to let that shift go.
That's right. But they don't know where to start.
I don't know where to start.
Start here.
I don't want to do it alone. But I want it to be like, I want it to be legit. But I also like spirituality. I like the moon, or whatever. I mean, it's more of like playful, but therapeutic.
Yeah.
Scientifically based, but also let's not take ourselves that seriously.
Right.
And you're going to play, and you're going to like create stuff that reminds you until you come back next month. And then you're accountable. Like, hey, how'd that go?
Yeah.
And you're with a group of people who are also on that same path with you. So
yeah,
I think there's something really powerful in that.
Yeah.
So right now we have 3 of the workshops up for people to sign up for: January, February, and March.
Right.
And like we said, like January is rebirth and renewal. February is leaning more towards love, self-love.
Self-love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-compassion.
Self-compassion. And then we move into March, which is
awakening and growth.
Oh, yeah, because we're just going to hit spring.
Yes. So planting seeds of change.
Ooh, I already can imagine what that's going to, like what kind of activity that's going to be. So we're super excited. We welcome your questions. We will be taking your suggestions as well. And we'll probably be doing more podcasts because I can imagine that as each month comes up, we'll be having more things to talk about. And maybe having some of our guests on the podcast as well.
Ooh.
So, you guys keep an eye out. You can get onto serenitycovetemecula.com. You can find Katie on Instagram. What's your handle for Instagram?
Magic over
Matters.
Yeah, matters. And there's an underscore, but I also have a stan.store. So stan.store /katie.estberg.
So I'll have links in the show notes for all of that. And in the meantime, just visit the website, visit us on Instagram. There'll be more coming on this series. And I encourage you to get in because there's going to be a limited amount of people. I think we're going to have maximum up to 15.
Yeah.
We want the group to be intimate and really still have time to connect, play. There'll be breath work. There will be time in nature. There will be therapeutically based workshopping. And so, get in early, bring your friends, and let's go into 2026 with the intention of change, of expansion, of connection.
Yeah. So anybody craving a life that feels aligned and they haven't been able to make that change, or they want something else.
You need the something else. It's not quite therapy. It's not just another workshop. It's something else. We're here for it. Okay.
All right, that's been another episode of Let That Shift Go podcast. I'm Noel.
And I'm Lena. Let us know what your questions are, and we'd love to use them on a future episode. Or check us out on Insta at Let That Shift Go, or visit our website, serenitycovetemecula.com.